I feel for the poor, unsuspecting parent who accidentally takes their small child to this, thinking it's something like The Nightmare Before Christmas. Boy, will they be surprised. Hi, everyone. Not for the kids, folks. Hi, everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raise on Popcorn's Grant, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I know it's taken a bit. We have a packed night for you. 6 reviews, back to back to back to back to back. So let's get started. The Matrix. Let's get started. So, yeah, it's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raise on Popcorn's Grant, everybody. And today we're talking about a movie. Movies and TV. That's what we do here. And that movie is Memoir of a Snail. Memoir of a Snail is a adult. Cannot stress that enough. Adult, rated R, stop motion animated film. It is written and directed by Adam Elliott, an Australian filmmaker. This is an Australian film. He previously directed several shorts as well as the terrific 2009 stop motion animated feature film Mary and Max, which is of a similar type. So, what is Memoir of a Snail about? Well, it centers on twins. Grace Puddle, voiced by Sarah Snook, and Gilbert Puddle, voiced by Cody Smith-McPhee. They are two kids, I'd say roughly 60s, 70s era, growing up in Australia, and they are born. They are both born tragically. Their mother dies in childbirth, and they face various tragedies past that point. Particularly Grace herself. She was born with a cleft palate that needed to be fixed, and was mean-spiritedly called Rabbit Face by the mean-spirited kids on the playground, but always had a hero in the form of her twin brother Gilbert, who would always step in and break a middle finger or two of the bullies. And but very soon, their beloved father dies suddenly in a drunken bender, and they are separated and sent to separate foster homes. Grace is sent to the home of upscale, somewhat nice people who barely are around because they like to go to key parties. Again, this is for adults. But Gilbert, on the other hand, isn't so lucky. Turns out Gilbert is sent to the home of a family of fundamentalist evangelicals who also have an apple orchard and force him to work tirelessly in the apple orchard factory. And eventually we discover Gilbert is also gay, and his new family doesn't take kindly to that, and things go sideways from there. So where does the title come in? Well, you see, this whole story is being told to a snail named Sylvia. You see, Grace, it would appear, is a pretty big snail fan. Not only likes taking care of snails, but also likes to collect snail or snail-looking memorabilia. She becomes something of a hoarder, actually, in that department, and with her new family not around, she soon bonds with an elderly, dementia-stricken woman with a lot of stories. She's named Pinky, voiced by Jackie Weaver, and we begin to discover Grace's life. Time jumps around. We see her ultimate dream being a stop-motion animator herself, but various life tragedies for her and for her twin brother threaten to derail all of that. And this story is told stop-motion style, old-school stop-motion animation. And this is a series of vignettes in the somewhat tragic life of these two young people as they desperately try to return to one another and find some sense of hope in this cruel, cruel world. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, especially if you take your children. Please do not take your children to this. Even though it's very good, don't take your children to this. Yeah, let the drama begin, and there's a lot of it. So, Memoir of a Snail. Again, not for kids. I cannot stress that enough. I know I sound like a broken record, but seriously, do not take your children to this. Also, again, as I mentioned, stone cold bummer. That being said, we've had a great year for animation this year, for both on the children's side with things like The Wild Robot and Inside Out 2, and even on the adult animation side, or kind of riding that line between family-friendly and adult animation with things like Look Back. And in that great category of animated films, this film is worthy of being in the same company. I loved Memoir of a Snail. I thought this was I saw this at a matinee. I was by myself. I was not originally intending to see this movie, actually. Funny story. En route to the High Point, circumstances led it for me to have to kill several hours before I would go to my screening in the evening. So I decided, you know what, I'll see a couple movies at a theater nearby. So I saw this, and I saw our next film a day earlier than planned. So we'll get to that. But Memoir of a Snail is just terrific. It is not a happy film. Not to say there's no life in it. There's humor in it, but it's often of the very macabre variety. This is a very, very bleak movie, and it's also has surprising amounts of claymation titties and bush for a movie that is essentially an animated film. So that'll give parents pause. That being, and also, sex and bodily fluids. The thing is, all of that is to say that one of the things I truly love about Memoir of a Snail is not only that it proves that animation is not necessarily the venue just for children, it's an art form. It is a genre unto itself. It is a tool to tell any kind of story, regardless of the subject matter. That's great. The other thing is, as a human story of not only suffering, but finding hope in all that suffering, this is a beautiful, poetic work of art. I loved this movie. And what I loved about this movie, in particular, is that it tackles all of these very adult themes: suicidal ideation, homophobia, hate in general, bigotry, sexual fetishes, often kind of horrifying sexual fetishes. Like I said, tea parties, mating rituals, hatred-inflicted violence, bullying, and depression, mental illness, dementia, dying, death, all of that stuff. But even though it's a bleak subject matter, there's still room for these little pockets of hope and humanity within that. It kind of shows that what I think the movie is trying to say, the larger point that Elliot is trying to make here, is that all human beings are deeply flawed. And sometimes to a horrifying detriment to other human beings. But there's hope in small ways that you can find. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, and especially post you-know-who getting reelected. I think we needed a movie like this. This is a movie that, as sad and dark as the subject matter is, and I can't stress enough, it really is not for kids. This really has weight to it, and emotion to it, and humor to it, and a very kind of nice streak of humor to it. I loved Memoir of a Snail. I thought this was just a really powerful film. It's another one for the best of the year list. We're going to have a few of those today. Man, 2024 has been a good year for movies, and a great year for animation movies in particular, and movies in general. So yeah, I'm going to give Memoir of a Snail, yeah, you see it, bang, 5 out of 5 stars plus. This was a little diamond in the rough of the multiplex. Definitely go check out Memoir of a Snail. It has been in limited release now for a couple weeks. It is expanding, I think, to even more theaters in the coming weeks. Please go check out Memoir of a Snail. It's terrific. So yeah, Memoir of a Snail, 5 out of 5 stars plus. Let's close the book on it. Trailer trash. Let's talk some trailer trash. Nickel Boys, talked about it, looks good. Albany Road. I don't know how I feel about this one. It has a pretty good leading lady. That would be Renee Elise Goldsberry, I believe that's her name, from like Girls 5 Eva. She was great on that show. It looks a lot like a Holiday Chance. It looks a lot like, it looks very low budget. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It could be all right. Decent looking, I guess. Love Me. This looks interesting. It's Kristen Stewart and Steven Yeun. And initially they play artificially intelligent objects. Like Kristen Stewart is like supposed to be like a buoy in the middle of the ocean, and I think Steven Yeun is supposed to be a satellite, and then eventually they take human form and fall in love. It's also partly animated. Looks kind of interesting, honestly. Like a real quirky, offbeat kind of movie. Dogman, talked about it, looks good. Bird. I only know about this because Kermode reviewed it this week. It looks really interesting, honestly. Barry Keoghan's in it. It looks like a very lo-fi indie film, but it looks really interesting. It's going to be on Mubi eventually. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Flow. I've heard a lot about this one. I haven't seen the trailer yet, though. It's another animation that is up for possible Oscar contention along with this, which it absolutely should be nominated. This looks great. I think it's supposed to be. It said it's the best international entry also for Latvia, so it's a Latvian film, but there's no dialogue. It's like it is cat and with other animals, and they're on like a journey. Yeah, it looks interesting. And then finally, A Real Pain. We've already reviewed it. It is in limited release now. It's expanding more, so yeah, Real Pain is another great one. And that's it for trailers. Was there shawarma? Yes, there is little bits of animation and little photographic stills throughout the credits all the way to the very end, so stick around. Yeah, that's it. And also the score in this movie is amazing, too. It's worth hearing that score again. All right, that is it. We will be back right after this for a review of Weekend in Taipei, which the action film starring Luke Evans, which is the other film I saw. Next, after that, we will have an early review out of the St. Louis International Film Festival for the almost 4-hour epic film The Brutalist, directed by Brady Corbett, rather. So we'll have a review of that. It's also a winner. Also coming up, we will have reviews later on tonight for Fighting Spirit, A Combat Chaplain's Journey, the new documentary, faith-based-ish documentary. Also the anime film Overlord, The Sacred Kingdom. And then finally, another early review from St. Louis International Film Festival for the indie dramedy The Black Sea, which is coming out in a couple weeks from Metrograph. So we'll have an early review for that. Also, on my socials, we will, and maybe on the second channel, do a quick thoughts, but I also have a very early review for the movie Saturn, because I also saw that in some capacity, probably a shorter thing. We're not going to do a full review until it's closer to coming out. But yeah, I also saw the film Saturn, which I don't think has been picked up by a distributor yet. So we will talk about that. But yeah, coming up tomorrow, we are not even close to being done. We still got reviews on the docket for Elevation. Small Things Like These, starring Cillian Murphy. AMC Screen Unseen. Also coming up this week, we will have a review for Emilia Perez, as well as a retro review for The Lighthouse, which will be back in theaters in IMAX. And some more reviews. Red One, got a review for that coming up. Ghost Cat Enzu, as well as early reviews for The Room Next Door, as well as possibly, I'm going to try to see these before the festival's done. I will do my best. Possible early reviews also out of the festival for September 5th. And Night Bitch. So we might have early reviews for both of those. If not, whatever. And then more to come, Wicked, Gladiator 2, Bonhoeffer, Moana 2. We'll also try sometime this week, maybe, because it's playing in a theater not terribly far from me, maybe checking out Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. We might have reviewed that as well. But yeah, that's all coming up, and that'll all be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, class dismissed. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. View it, you're right on cue. You're right on cue right before we're about to head off. How's it going, buddy? So yeah, that'll all be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, class dismissed. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does. That's what it's supposed to do, or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's, hey, Grant, I like waffles. It really helps out. And if you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can find me on all my social media. I'm on literally everything, and either Raised on Popcorn with Grant or Raised on Popcorn. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important, and I want to know down below, what did you think of Memoir of a Snail? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below. Let me know. And until we meet again, we were all raised on popcorn. Mint with extra butter. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone. See you around. Bye.